Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Before I kick off today's video, don't forget to join me on twitch.tv/stealth17gaming, link down below in the description for random Ultimate Admiral streams and the more scheduled stream on Wednesday night. That is Wednesday, 8 PM Central European Time. Link down below in the description. For today's scenario, created by BrotherMunro, we have an encounter between the British and the French. It's the 3rd of July 1940. With the fall of France to the forces of Germany barely a week ago, the formal surrender of the French armed forces is underway. Whilst both the Vichy government and the Germans have claimed that the French fleet would remain neutral, the possibility of the Germans using the combined power of the French fleet and their own surface warfare assets could severely alter the balance of power in the Atlantic and the Mediterranean. Force H, under the Admiral James Somerville, has sailed from Gibraltar and delivered an ultimatum to Admiral Marcel-Bruno Gensoul. Hand over your ships, or they will be destroyed. Insulted by the arrogance of the British sending a mere captain to deliver this message, and emboldened by the fact that Forces H carrier, HMS Ark Royal, has yet to join the fleet due to an engine issue, Gensoul decides to launch a preemptive attack on the British ships. The win condition. Before the Ark Royal can arrive to support the British capital ships, in 3 hours, sink or rout the British fleet, ensuring that at least one French battleship is still afloat at the end of the battle. Bonus objective, have all 4 French battleships afloat at the end of the battle. In recognition of Gensoul's stunning victory, he is awarded the Légion d'honneur, aka the Legion of Honor, and made the commander of the entire Vichy French Navy. And as a side benefit to me, he is going to write a follow-up scenario, and he is BrotherMunro. Now, I have slightly older tech, 1930 versus 1935. I can build 4 battleships of my own design with a maximum displacement of 35,500 tons. I have 5 destroyers escorting me. The British, the AI fleet, has 2 battleships, 1 battle cruiser, 2 light cruisers, and 6 destroyers. And he says this was historically 11, but 5 are escorting the Ark Royal in this scenario, so there's only 6 destroyers there. Right. I would love it if there were quad turrets in the game, because the quad turrets is more along the lines of what the French would probably be having at that point in time. But unfortunately, those things have not yet been added to the game. Oh crap, I'm going to have to make use of a hull that's not up to spec. My maximum displacement is 35,500 tons. This thing goes as low as 36,000, so I'm going to stick to that as a lower limit. That means that these battleships can really not be very big. They're really going to be fairly small battleships. Okay, if I have a smaller battleship against a foe that has more destroyers, I cannot push in with torpedoes, which is what I would normally do. I would try to sink their battleships, their battle cruisers, with torpedoes. Now, it's not unusual for the AI to put torpedoes on their battleships and battlecruisers as well, but their destroyers, 6 of them, are guaranteed to be carrying torpedoes. So pushing in there with my own battleships and their torpedoes is asking for trouble. How am I going to build this ship? What sort of armament would I like? Mark II, Mark III, I think at least 16-inch, although those are heavy turrets. Really heavy turrets. That's 1,985 tons for 1 turret. Oof. I think this is going to be a pretty traditional battleship design. What sort of radar tech do I have? Okay, I have access to Gen 2 and to the best rangefinder. I think that the game in its current condition, whether it's 1930 or 1940, just gives you everything. I don't agree with that design decision, and I hope they change it before the game comes out. Now, there are rumors that there is going to be some sort of announcement that the game is going to be making it onto Steam. I don't know. I haven't found any sources to corroborate that story. So, maybe the game is going to suddenly make an appearance on Steam. Maybe there's going to be an announcement. I don't know. It's just something that I saw on one of the discords from this game. Or rather, the only discord that's related to this game. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Can I build a smaller secondary tower? No, not really. The difference between a rear tower 5 and a rear tower 7 is 3 base accuracy. And also smoke interference -10, smoke interference -5. Okay. Because I was really hoping to put another barbette up here and add another 16-inch turret. But I think that that's just not going to fit. Because these are seriously big turrets. No, they don't fit on a standard superimposed. If that's the case, then I'm going to have to go with a different design and put a tall secondary barbette there. But it's entirely possible that the game doesn't let me. Simply because I don't have a single barbette. Yeah, there you go. Now it allows me to do it. But now it's too late. This is going to be a really tricky one. Let's see. I need to have a ship that's pretty capable of doing a full turn quickly. So I'm thinking very high auxiliary engine. And very high propeller shaft. Hopefully that's going to work. Let's go with the geared turbines 2. More engine power, oil, and forced boilers. Always maximum bulkheads on the battleship. Range is not important for this one. Because, well, both historically, or both for the scenario, it's not very important. And in the case that I am trying to evade/attack the British, I would probably be coming out of port. So I don't... It's not like for this scenario I'm operating off the edge of my operational range or something like that. One whole funnel, huh? One whole funnel. That's not a lot. 89.3% engine efficiency. 79. 89.3. 100. There you go. It just barely fits in there. Main guns, at least 2 needed. Yeah, you don't say. Now try to work the weight offset away. 2, 3, 1, 1. 0.1. Workable. Not a lot of guns on these ships. I need to make every shot count. Very high stereoscopic rangefinder. Maximum radar. Radio. Advanced. Propellant. High TNT. We're going for full penetration on this thing. Super heavy shells. Might not be historical, but I think it is what I'm going to need. Reinforced bulkheads. Anti-flooding 2. Citadel. All or nothing. How do I defeat destroyers? 8-inch casemate guns come to mind. That's a Mark IV. This is also a Mark IV. I was hoping that would fit behind the turret. Looks like it doesn't. At least not in its current configuration. It does fit over here. Sort of. I don't quite like that. If I put a superimposed barbette here, it is going to add significantly to the weight of the whole ship. Especially the 4 weight offset might now be a problem. But I'm thinking I might be able to put an 8-inch in front of it. Like that. It's a bit of a weird look, but it will help me defeat enemy destroyers that get too close. At least that's the plan. Whether that's going to work out, I don't know. We'll just have to see. And I might be able to do the same thing here. Really? What? There's not a single slot for that at all? Okay. That is unfortunate, to say the least. Because that means we're going to have to go over some different options. Could I put, let's say, 6-inch somewhere? Yes. I can. Sort of. Oh, hold on, here. One other 8-inch secondary. No, that's a 7. 8 inch. It's not a bad spot. Could I put a secondary toll here? No, you can put them over there? What sort of a weird placement is that? Like, it's not even on the ship. Sometimes this game confuses me. The way that it's trying to build turrets and then sort of just putting them in very unusual positions. For some reason I cannot put them here. I think that's to do with this supposed casemate gun. This is a weird design. I quite like this. I just hope it's going to be effective. Aft weight offset's only 0.2. If I want to put underwater torpedo tubes, how many could I put? Underwater torpedo tubes. Bow. And stern. I still have 4,000... no. 3,300 tons to work with for the displacement. It's an older hull. This is so annoying. These slots here could be fantastic for torpedo tubes, but the game just does not allow you to put them there. Let's put a couple of quadruples on the stern. I'm not exactly expecting a lot of durability from them. Simply because they're gonna get shot off at the smallest sign of trouble. You hit something like this, it just snaps off. Range 12.9. Visibility minus 70%. Speed 37 knots. They're not quick. I'm not banking on them that they are. Just need to very sneakily take down a bigger ship or force the destroyers to relocate. But if those British destroyers have anything along the lines of hydro system, then it's going to be very difficult. Oh crap. I have a weight offset that's too high. Yeah, that's definitely courtesy of the torpedo tubes. The problem is I cannot really put them anywhere else. Unless I put them side mounted and let the destroyers do the torpedoing. In that case, I could just add a whole lot more armor to this ship. Maybe that's the better way to go. Alright, I'm fighting at 16,000 meter range. At least that's the starting range. That means that not all of my ships are going to be actually operating at that range. They might be even shorter ranged. Let's see how much armor I can actually tack onto these French battleships. 20-inch belt armor, 20-inch belt extended armor. It's like armor got a whole lot lighter recently. Oh crap, I'm over my supposed fictional weight limit of 35,500. Still over. Anything so much as looks at the deck armor, it's gonna buckle and they're gonna fly right through. So I'm not exactly expecting a lot of survivability from the deck armor. That means I have to push in pretty close, which again is not great. Maybe just mitigate the belt armor a bit. Let's go to 17 inch and then see if I can up the... No, deck armor is just too heavy. 7 inches of deck armor. 3.2 inches of deck extended. 17.5 inches of belt armor. That's a lot of armor on that ship. Now, tell me, how quickly does this thing turn? Because that's going to be important. 467 meters turning circle. That is really impressive. I've seen destroyers with more of a turning circle than that. Nice. Now, if I try to change course at full speed, I'm going to be taking 54 seconds. If I take it at, I don't know, standard speed, it's going to take me 23.8 seconds. So it's not fantastic, but at least I should be able to avoid torpedoes. Here we go. What are we called? Mirabeau. 4 battleships and 5 destroyers is all I get. Stop. Okay, my battleships are all in a line. My destroyers are up in 2 different groups. We got these cimetières. These are all the same class. Okay, that's at least something. They seem to sport a lot of torpedo tubes. That's 21-inch tube. Oh god, they're suicide range torps. 7.8 clicks out. Torpedo visibility plus 45%. They're fast torps. 62.5. That's not what I was hoping for. What's the orientation of the British battle group? Relatively heading away at a range of 16. Looks like they're already turning their guns. Yep, definitely turning their guns. So these are potentially 2 of the battleships. They had 1 battle cruiser. Check. Okay. I'm not seeing any deck-mounted torpedo tubes. That's a good thing. And these are the light cruisers. They do have a torpedo launcher on their stern. But with everything between me and them, they probably don't dare to launch. That's good. What about their DDs? They went for gunboats. Serious gunboats at that. Because they only carry 1 torpedo launcher. Okay, I think I can make this work. Let's see. Start by heading away. Slowing down to about half speed. I want the étendard and the cimetière to push. And I want this whole group to join the division from the destroyers. They can do only 32 knots, so you're gonna race in at 32 knots and drop torps at 7. My god, that's bad. I don't know what we're shooting at the moment. That's a destroyer? Question mark? Is this the light cruiser? Hold on, I'm a bit confused. What? What is what? Take down the battleships first. Those are the biggest priorities. I want you guys to set a smoke screen. Just to start obstructing the view. Oh, and of course every destroyer now has a plan to push right through the battleship group. So the battleships are probably going to get obstructed pretty quick. And will be forced to slow down. I have done a little bit of damage. I don't know to what. Oh, to this! Whoa! You're not doing too hot, are you? This might very well be the light cruiser. And in the meanwhile... Whoa! That battleship is taking a beating. I might have some slightly inferior tech, but we've definitely dealt the first blow. I have only taken 16 damage versus 306 as I'm dishing it out. Currently the Mirabeau is the ship that's taking most of the damage. The British probably still outgun me a fair bit. Look at this, I don't get that. I have taken damage to the main tower. Shut up for a sec. I have taken damage to the main tower, right? That's a 7-inch shell that hits the main tower and penetrates. The main tower, so the conning tower, has an armor of 19-inch. How the hell is a 7-inch shell flying right through that? At 17,500 meters, this ship can penetrate either belt armor of 22.5 or deck armor of 18.2. How the hell is a 17-inch shell flying through my main tower and doing damage to it? Is that some sort of unicorn lucky hit? Or is the game not exactly telling me what the true story is? Destroyer, I need you to intercept that fleet. We are mauling that battleship. And the light cruiser seems to have prepared herself. Alright, all secondaries. Target this unknown warship that's coming in. Assumedly a destroyer. That thing has to go. I'm not sure what their torpedo range is, but I'm not really looking to find out if they can torpedo me. I want it sunk before they can get here. Whoa. Accurate secondaries. No, lucky hits. 1.1%. Oh, we got a hit on him. It's gonna get significantly easier from here. No more flood or no more speed. I'm really looking forward and hoping that they're gonna add those quadruple turrets that the French were known for. So you can finally get those Richelieu classes. That, well, quite a few of you have been asking for. Warship's taking severe damage. It already lost a turret. I think this battleship should be fortunate to realize that it didn't get a flash fire from that turret explosion. Or rather, the lack of turret explosion. Now, these 16-inch triples reload in 77 seconds. And that's why I said I need to keep these guns firing. I need to make every shot hit. And this ship, Mirabeau, just lost her stern turret. Might need the Mirabeau... Well, I can't really have her disengage. If she disengages, then she only has her bow turret. And that's the only turret that's still operational. So that is not helpful. Now we've scared off one destroyer. Let's target the next one. Destroyer status. What a mess. Albatross. Detach from the division. Cimetière. Detach. Étendard. Detach. Just start heading in that general direction. I'll give you guys orders on a one-by-one basis. Torpedoes, not allowed. Speaking of, there's torpedoes coming at me. All ships turn hard starboard. With the exception potentially of the Mirabeau, who has to turn in. And this is when that turning circle is really going to shine. And you just slow down to very low speed. And just go bow in. Just park yourself there, more or less. Notification's still not coming in. I'm seriously doubting we actually destroy or we actually maul the battlecruiser here. The armament on this ship seems too light for a battlecruiser. Seriously though, it's 7. Yeah, it's a 7 triple turret broadside if it wants to. So that's 21 guns that you can fire. That's gonna be the death of destroyers exceptionally soon. Justice, turn out. Although I doubt that's going to save her. Invincible, terrible, turn port. What sort of guns do we have on this? 5-inch. Cordite 1, okay. So not quite what I would have picked for my guns. Notification 86. So far damage dished out 1.8 thousand. Damage received 557. You and you, target the battlecruiser. Secondaries on this destroyer. Is that secondary on the bow actually working, I wonder? Because it should. But maybe the angle isn't quite there. The firing arc. No, firing arc isn't there. But interestingly, the firing arc is here. This thing can fire over the deck, this starboard turret. So you had this one fire, that one fire, and that one fire. Pretty much all at the same time. For one big 8-inch salvo. Now, unfortunately, I didn't manage the Terrible correctly. And she is going to get hit by a torpedo. I don't know how bad that's going to be. I do have some anti-torpedo protection, but not a lot. 714 damage. And she's flooding. Terrible, disengage for a moment. It's just slow. Range, 5 clicks out. We got a flash fire on the Etendar. I'm still 8 kilometers out, and there's no real way for me to get any closer without getting killed off. Finally, we know what sort of torpedoes these are. 23 inch. Oops. So that is the thing that hit my battleship. Terrible. He's fighting to get the damage under control. I hope she can pull it off. Alright, all the destroyers are finally here. Unfortunately, some of these torpedoes have been already sent. Yeah, the Marshal just sends another one. Oh, sorry, the Marshal. This is a British ship, not a French one. Damage on the bigger ships? Fairly limited. I was hoping to kill off this battle cruiser because it was broadside on and fairly easy to hit. And much easier to pen. Come right. Who fired? Was that Cedar? No, the Marshal. Aimed at the battleship. So let's assume that's the Mirabeau. I'm gonna have her slow down even more. Just park her like that. Flooding and fire. The ship shouldn't be too long. Just aggressively launch your torpedoes if you have them. At this point, I don't really care. I'm going to get detected at torpedo launch. I just need to get those torpedoes off before the scimitar actually goes down. First torpedoes head away. Turn back. Engine 3 damaged. Fire. Engine 3 apparently took a hit, but is not critically out of the fight, because it's not listed as a damaged system. The light cruisers are unfortunately still out of range. Alright, GDs, hang on for a second. I need you to target that one with the secondaries on the Marshal. We also got the Bout de Feu and the Tigre coming in. Terrible has fixed her flooding. Perfect. You can turn back in. Justice or Justice come back in. We got a few hits on the Audacious. 14-inch main guns. 6-inch secondaries and a couple of torpedo tubes at a range of 7.7. So I'm not worried about that one. I'm worried about the destroyers. They have to go. Once their DDs are dead, I'm having a slightly easier time of surviving this encounter. Mirabeau, please accelerate quick. There goes Timothée. That was just a matter of time. 10-8, 10-9. I'm going to try and squeeze between these two torpedoes. Engines to flank. I don't want the Mirabeau hit. Speed 11.4. It's going to be close. Hard to port. 11.8. Yeah, she'll be fine. Turn completed. Sort of. Albatross, turn back, set a smoke screen. There goes the Marshal. Perfect. We have torpedoes out from the Bout de Feu. Target the Minerva. Set a smoke screen, guys. Carry on. So far my battleships are all alive. Oh, what happened to you? 6-inch shell from a battleship hits this ship and immediately blows off her ammunition. Ammo dead. Great. Hold on. Woodpecker just launched torpedoes against a battleship. Well, you get one chance to bet on what battleship that's going to be. Mirabeau. She's almost stationary, so any movement should throw off the torpedo aim. Firing flooding on the Rheineck. Incoming torpedo tube, or torpedo. Not exactly sure what that's aimed at though. Still got the Paragon and the Sesame over there. Sesame? Okay. Terrible has 0.9% chance to hit. Fantastic. Now, there are torpedoes out in the water here, but I don't think that they're actually going to hit anything. The ships are simply too far away. We got the Jupiter and the wounded Zealandia. 16-inch guns. Unfortunately, her aim isn't very good either. Come on, get rid of the Rheineck. Really? There we go. Rheineck gone. Mirabeau, new target, Woodpecker. We now should be able to see the bow turret from the Mirabeau actually take out that ship. There we go. Interesting design, this. I'm quite happy with how it turned out, except that it lost the stern turret, of course. I'm still not sure exactly how that happened. Let's see if I can dig into that. Log. She's on fire. There. 557, midway through the log. A 14-inch shell hits the main gun of the battleship. Penetration. Main gun destroyed. Wait, 1. So you hit the main gun, aka the turret. You mean the turret that has 19 inches of armor on it, that turret. Okay. You're firing 14-inch shells at me. Then it wasn't the battleship, then it was the battle cruiser. 14-inch shells. The Audacious was never very close to the Mirabeau. She's currently sitting at 14.5. So 14.5, let's say 15,000. She can penetrate directly through the belt, 21.5 inches of armor, so that's probably what happened. It's not a deck penetration, so it's not an angled impact. It just flat out went right through the turret and knocked it out. Happens. So apparently 19 inches of turret armor is still arguably not enough. There's the torpedoes. Good. We got damage on the Woodpecker again. The Attentive and the Minerva are inside smoke screens, so they're not really priority targets. Oh crap. There goes the bout de feu. These French designed destroyers are just bad. I really don't like them. Terrible. Trying to hit the battle cruiser. No, we're going to try and hit something else. I'm going to try and hit the Zealandia. Justice on the Zealandia. Mirabeau also on the Zealandia. The Zealandia is not moving very quick. 17.8. There goes the bout de feu. That was just a matter of time. I don't think that the Tigre is going to do much better. Then again, should have designed the destroyers better if you wanted different results. Torpedoes are all away. Tigre, turn around. You're my last surviving destroyer, aren't you? No, I also have the Albatross. Check again on the torpedoes. Yep, harmlessly sailed by. Woodpecker, almost done. Attentive has taken a big hit. She is almost entirely flooded. Hold on, maybe I can sink that one instead. Target the Attentive. Damage to the main tower on the Woodpecker. Woodpecker is severely aflame. Oh, she's using the tall turrets here. Tall barbettes. What's the speed on the Attentive? Stationary. Oh, yeah, see, that's what you deserve. That's what you deserve. 16-inch shell hits the light cruiser for 4,500 damage. Well done, Mirabeau. Next target, the Minerva. Because I don't think the Minerva is particularly quick either. 16.8. Well, at least she's not stationary. We have torpedoes out against the Minerva. It's this spread over here. She'll probably see that coming from a couple of miles away. At least if they equipped her with the required system for that. And she does have sonar too. Yeah, she'll see those things coming. Tigre is down. Did we get any more hits on the Zealandia? Not recently. What's my chance for the Mirabeau to hit? 2.5%. Although the 8 and the 6 are doing severely better. And they have a much greater rate of fire. So this ship, at 25 knots top speed for a light cruiser, should be pretty easy to hit. With the exception of smokescreen, of course. And it has almost no armor. Bingo. Damage to the secondary tower. That was an impact from an 8-inch shell. From the Mirabeau. Those torpedoes looking any good? Well, actually not too bad. It's at least going to force the Minerva to maintain her course going that way. Pushing her away from the other ships. If she keeps turning, she risks eating a torpedo of an unknown caliber. 21-inch. Could be worth it. Battleships, use secondaries against the Paragon. Albatross just took a big chunk. Oh, look at that. Minerva turned the wrong way and took a hit. Leaving just the Woodpecker as a lighter ship. And the full health Paragon. Mirabeau, engage the Woodpecker. With secondaries, that is. Jupiter's on fire? I'm not even sure who's firing at the Jupiter at this point. Alright, so I've lost all of my destroyers, but all of my battleships are alive. Versus trading against 5 destroyers and 2 light cruisers. So I'd say so far we've done a pretty good trade. I just need to make sure that this ship sinks before she's able to get another torpedo away. She has a couple of fires. Structural integrity is down to 2%. And I think that quite a few of her positions are now just damage saturated. I want you to join the battle again. There goes the Woodpecker. Perfect. Range 15. Time to speed up a bit. I want to close the distance. Terrible. This is the ship that ate a torpedo. Still perfectly accurate. Main target. Currently Zealandia, I think. Yeah, Zealandia. Pan chance, not fantastic. Zealandia is armed with 16-inch guns, standard amount of bulkheads, shaft 3, and aux 4. Okay, so she can also turn pretty quick. I think. Turning circle 636. Not as good as my French battleships. Paragon took a couple of good hits. She's flooding and slowing down. That's exactly what I need. Because I need to sink that ship very, very quickly. The torpedo range is 22-1, so she's definitely in range. And unlike the torpedoes that were fired at me previous, I will not see those coming. I will not get a warning. I have no destroyers, and they have a visibility of minus 35%. Justice, increase the flank. Come on, Paragon. Ooh, good hit on the Zealandia. The rudder seems severely damaged. I already blew off one of her turrets before. She only has 2 actual guns that she's able to bring to bear, which reload in 44.3 seconds. Okay. Jupiter seems to be full health, and kicking away with almost everything she has, except for the 3-inch guns. And it's all going for the Mirabeau. Mirabeau is to slow down. She's currently taking a lot of fire. It is angled, though. She's bow in, and she has all of that belt armor. So I think she can actually take a lot of hits without taking serious damage. She's been targeted. She's been fired at by 900 hits. she's only eaten 87. 87 times she's been hit. And out of that 87 hits, she took 782 damage. 62 of the shells were blocked. 17 ricocheted. And only a few penetrated. So we're doing pretty damn well, I'd say. Oh crap, the Sesame is still here. Target Sesame. All battleships. Secondaries, target Sesame. We need to close Sesame before she comes too close. Checking on the rest of the ships. Invincible. See, and this is where I run into trouble with only having ships that have one turret on the bow. It's just limiting my firepower severely. Those 8-inch should make short work of the Sesame. And she still hasn't reloaded her torpedo tubes, but she's not far off from it. Mirabeau, status. Now has taken 1,242 hits and still ramping up and almost eating no damage. Look at that. Bounce, 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 ricochet, bounce, bounce. And sure enough, she gets sets on fire every now and then. Uh-oh. Mirabeau, time to use that exceptionally good turning circle of yours. 467 meters, turn hard to starboard. And avoid the torpedoes, which I very much doubt were fired by the Sesame. But then I wouldn't quite know who they were launched by. Maybe that other ship that I sunk previous. Sesame launched. Shit. Turn hard to port. I was making a starboard turn when she probably launched. So hopefully I can still avoid this. But I'm gonna have to make a choice. Either I get hit by a torpedo, or I get hit a lot by the other ships. There's really no middle ground here. We're trying to target the battleship. Negative. Target the Audacious. There goes Sesame. Okay. Terrible. Hard to port. I need to bring all guns to bear. Justice. Hard to port. Okay, so the damage is done against the Sesame. But the problem now lies in the impending doom of the torpedoes launched by the Sesame. That's 23-inch torpedo tubes. Mirabeau speeding up, 17.6. She has sent out one of her own torpedo tubes against Audacious, potentially. Speed, 17.3. Come on, Mirabeau, power through the turn. There's the torpedo. Hard to starboard. Slow down. Because this is the whole spread. If I can avoid that, I can park myself bow in again. Yeah, we're fine. Slow down to 6 knots. 6 to 7, something like that. Chance to hit? 5.6%. That's pretty bad with the main armament. I was actually counting on something a lot better than that. 5.3? Why is it so bad? It's 5 kilometers out. Target fast speed, minus 90%. Battlecruiser things. A battlecruiser doing almost 37 knots. Still, 5 kilometers out? 4.7? Destroy the torpedo tube. Mirabeau has now blocked almost all of the shells fired at her. She's taken 350 actual damaging hits. No, sorry, she's taken 354 hits, 357, out of a potential 2,000 shells fired at her. Come on, where's the rest of the French? All ships, insofar as you weren't doing it already, target the Audacious. I really left the Mirabeau in a very, very far forward position. Hold on. Are you doing nasty things to my Mirabeau again? You're trying to torpedo her. Where are your torpedo tubes? Audacious. Port and starboard. Oh, sorry, bow and stern. She doesn't have any port and starboard tubes. Range 3-2. I really expect results now. There's the torpedo. Right there. Just zigzag around it. 8-inch should now be able to severely damage that ship, seeing as it is broadside. It only has a 6-inch belt armor. Come on. Penetration is excellent. That's the 8-inch shells going out. Alright, zigzagged around it. I am looking to see if the Audacious is planning on launching another torpedo. If she is, then I need to immediately turn and avoid. I really need to get the rest of the fleet involved quick. Because I'm pretty much fighting this 3-1 with one battleship. Just the Mirabeau. Lost a torpedo tube. Potentially the bow one. Yeah, she definitely sent out another torpedo. That counter just went right back up. That load indicator. So Mirabeau, it's once again time to turn. There it is. Might need the Mirabeau to just disengage altogether. Because I would really like to get all of my battleships to survive. Especially since that is probably going to put me in a better position for the follow-up scenario that BrotherMunro is going to be writing. If all 4 battleships survive. Now, as if you completely turn out and disengage. And could we please damage the Audacious? Because it's getting a bit ludicrous now. There we go, ammo detonation. That was an 8-inch shell. 6-inch shell, actually, detonating the ammo. Causing flooding, fire, and shutting down one engine. Come on, one last good salvo from the bow turret before I'm no longer able to bring that to bear. Oh, it's ready, but the ship is outturning her turret. Destroyed the main tower? Here, I thought that thing was pretty heavily armored. No hits. Come on. Bow turret. Any day now. There we go. And she misses. Please tell me that the other ships are coming in closer. Yeah, range is about 7 clicks. Mirabeau, however, despite taking over 3,000, or well, being shot at over 3,000 times, she's only now starting to flood. And that was due to a damaging hit caused by, I think, 6-inch secondaries from a battleship. Oh, and the 14-inch shell. Still, that ship has taken a lot of damage and survived everything. Audacious, I expect you to start slowing down. 32-4, 32-3. Justice, maintain course. 10-3. That's the range. Chance to hit is still dreadful. Target that main, target that secondary. Target that main, target that secondary. Main, secondary. I don't expect a lot from the secondaries, but I just expect a lot more from the main guns if I'm actually targeting a ship that I can hit, like the Jupiter. Mirabeau is down to 46%. She's on fire on most of her top deck. But at least she survived the turn so far. And hopefully all that belt armor is now going to come invaluable. Aggressive launch versus... Nah, I don't think I'm going to hit that. And despite everything, she's still able to make good speed. She probably won't get up to 30, but she will do 23. Audacious is now severely flooded. Speed down to 30.6 and still dropping. Here comes the Justice. Justice, turn to port. 18% chance to hit on the main battleship. Chels versus Jupiter. Audacious. Let me guess. Few bulkheads. AI doing AI things. Our ship design is still... It leaves a lot to be desired, shall we say. Destroyed the main tower. You already destroyed the main tower several times now. She's pumping the water back out. No, she's not. She's still flooding. 56. And 55. She's still flooding. Not only that one, the Jupiter has also just taken a flooding hit. Standard amount of bulkheads. Are you trying to hit the battleship? Okay. This ship has taken such an enormous beating, and she's still here. 4,263 shells fired at her, almost 1,000 of which have hit. 773 were blocked by armor. That is some effective armor right there. Then again, I put 17.5 inch of belt armor, and actually more belt extended armor on her. I should have swapped that around, come to think of it. But you guys probably already commented on that at this point. And that armor is just showing off. And this was pretty much what I was banking on. I don't have a lot of guns, so I need to make sure that my guns stay in the fight for long enough to do damage. And that's what they did. And they did it well. Destroyed secondary gun and fire. Very good. Range to the Zealandia is 7-1. I have a torpedo range of 12-9, but I only fire one. I want to just hand deliver that torpedo. Range 6-4, range 8-1. But I'm completely dialed in on the battleship with a 22% chance to hit. Guns are loading, coming back up. Fire. Ish. That's the secondaries. That's the mains. All bounces. Her belt armor is 13.7 with 7.4 extended. So I'm not exactly sure what I hit, but arguably at this range I was expecting a penetration. Justice. You are also approaching torpedo range. Speaking of, I'm thinking Audacious might not have been able to launch torpedoes. Oh, she has bigger trouble. We have a rocket-assisted torpedo launch on the turret. Look at that. Sucks to be you. Because you just lost the turret. And hopefully for you, that flash fire is not going to ramp out of control. But the flooding is. Look at that. The ship is on fire almost entirely. So what happened here? I hit the ship with an 8-inch gun. And that was at 35-21. That caused her to be on fire, I think. Then the fire caused a penetration, or the fire caused the main damage, main gun destroyed. She's on fire, engines 1, 2 are damaged, rudder is damaged, and she has a flash fire. So everything's escalating. And that's what you get with the battle cruisers with few bulkheads. Yes, they're fast, but they get hit, they slow down. They slow down, they die. Audacious is not so audacious anymore. Mirabeau, done 44%, no flooding, just a small amount of compartment or small amount of water in the aft compartment. 18-inch or 18% chance to hit on the Jupiter. Although I'm rather doubting that at this firing angle she can actually do much. Just slow down to, yeah, make it slow speed. This way at least you can still contribute to the fight. Hold on a second. I think the Audacious in her last moments might have launched a torpedo that I, by some miracle, very nearly avoided with the Mirabeau. But that was not due to me paying attention, that was just sheer luck. That maybe the ship was already maneuvering. Now I'm putting the Justice in a pretty risky position, especially with respects to the Zealandia. I'm hoping that I can slow down the Jupiter more so that the Justice can actually torpedo her. And then, yeah, let's have the Invincible engage this ship. So we are 4.8 kilometers out. I have a 50-50 to actually pen that ship. Really? Armor, 8.2 to 40.7 inches. That's effective armor. It's not like this ship has 40 inches of armor on it. So my chance to pen is actually not that good. My chance to torpedo her is even worse because there's a sinking battlecruiser in the way. 64% chance to hit. Now we're talking. Flooding on the Jupiter. 2 compartments. Engines are damaged. This makes her not too suited as a torpedo target because she'll slow down. And when she slows down, she's going to potentially avoid the torpedo. Oh, she already did. I already had the Justice launch the torpedo. Justice, can you do just as well as your sister ship? Yep, everything bounced. Everything bounced. Perfect. There's another torpedo out. I'm not sure who launched that one. Not the Mirabeau. Not the Terrible. Not a battleship. But the angle's all weird. Here. Here's another one. I don't get who's launching all these torpedoes because I only have one on the bow and one on the stern. Slow down. We don't need to ram the ship. We just need to make sure we can actually pen it. Gotcha. Flooding on the nose. Oh, crap. Destroy the main gun. And Justice is flooding. Yep, there goes the bow turret. I was really hoping that I could land a torpedo on her just by manually delivering it, but no such luck. Didn't play that correctly. Mistake. Zealandia is still firing and still fighting. And I think she's fighting the Justice. Jupiter seems to have the flooding amidships under control and still working on the flooding on the bow. Keep circling that ship. These guys do not have torpedo tubes, so I don't have to be too worried. Hold on, I still have a torpedo tube. And I'm willing to use it. Hard to starboard. That's also going to put me in a better position against the Zealandia. And since my bow turret is useless anyway, Jupiter is listing exceptionally hard to starboard. Come on, Justice. Justice. Bounces, 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 bounces. Prepare the torpedo. Waiting for the angle. Rudder amidships. Send it. Do so now. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. You're doing good damage to her, but a torpedo would finish that ship. I'm not getting any reports that the stern torpedo tube has been destroyed. So why are you not launching your torpedo? You had this perfect opportunity and you're just wasting it. Alright, second target. Torpedo against the Zealandia. So she's using her stern turrets against the Jupiter, and he's using, hopefully, her bow torpedo tube against the Zealandia. I'm not seeing it yet. And arguably I should be giving enough lead at this point. Come on. Are these just props, or are we actually using torpedo tubes? We actually have them. What the hell? It's already set to aggressive. What more would you like me to do? There, torpedo away. Check hard to port. Try to... Oh, actually, I think the Jupiter's going to sink all by herself. She might not need another hit. Justice, hard to port. After we torpedo the Zealandia, be prepared to pick up survivors. They might be British. They might be our current enemy, but they were a former ally and they're just people. If they have survivors, we're going to try and pick them up. Not that that's a thing in the game, of course, but let's say it's the humanitarian thing to do. Torpedo looks to be striking perfectly amidships. .310 damage, flooding in 3 compartments. The wounded Jupiter is still here. I thought we'd be able to finish her off at this point. Invincible is racing in, which is amusing, but not exactly the way that I can land the torpedo on her, so I should have slowed her down a moment ago. Now, Justis only has her starboard torpedo, or her starboard, no, stern turret. Starboard, stern turret. Ooh. These French ships are eager to lose the turrets. This is not the first or the second ship, this is the third ship that's happened to. The Justice launched her torpedo, or lost her turret. Invincible has lost her turret. And I believe Mirabeau lost the turret. The only ship that actually has both of her turrets is the Terrible. Which is arguably a bit ironic, considering her name. Zealandia, 18-8. Justice coming alongside at 200 meter range. All secondaries. How is this not a brawl? And very unfortunately, I just don't have the bow turret. I could have wrecked this ship. It'd make for a great thumbnail though. Look at these guys duking it out. Trying to join that ship in her turn. Zealandia, still a bit faster than I am. Aim for 17 knots. There goes the Jupiter. Finally. That took me long enough. It's almost like the Invincible just ran into it. And I thought the other encounter was close. This ship is almost on top of it. Right. Bring the survivors aboard. Try not to hit a friendly. If you can. Justice, you need to just turn out. Maybe use your stern torpedo tube on the Zealandia. Maximum turn to port. Invincible is turning in. We still got the Terrible coming in. No torpedoes. And the Mirabeau should be at range. There she is. And she's still contributing to the battle, even in her severely damaged state. The end result of the Mirabeau is that she has received 1,013 hits for a total of 1,892 damage, and she has been shot at almost 4,500 times. Comparing that to the others, this one's been shot at 1,700 times. Invincible 1,200 and Terrible twice. Twice? Twice. Okay, she's been shot at twice. I swear that I'm hitting my own ship here. Zealandia and a 15.5. I only have my stern turret, but the ship is turning so much faster. Oh, herp a derp. I never actually addressed what sort of auto-loading system I want, or what sort of turret rotation speed I'm looking for. So that's why all of these turrets are utterly unable to turn as fast as my ship. Completely forgot. Torpedo range, 800 meters out. Stern turret is slowly angling in. At least all of those 8-inch secondaries on the stern seem to be working. 100% chance to hit, but chance to pen? Let's see. You have armor, belt armor 13,774. I can pen at a range of 1,000 meters, 22.6 inch of belt armor. The thing is, they just don't do a whole lot of damage. So you're getting these very low level hits. That's more like it. Good hit. Terrible. Zealandia is severely burning. Torpedo is still not launching. Turn to port. Increase. For some reason my videos are always running into an hour range at this point. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to limit that. Oh boy, flash fire on the Zealandia, that killed her. Well done. So, the French kick ass of the British. And with that, we weren't a follow-up scenario by BrotherMunro. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with these ships. They are very interesting to use. I didn't have the turrets that I could place on them, or at least not a lot, because I just didn't have the room. So I decided to go for survivability instead, making sure that I keep the ships alive to do damage for long enough. And they did. The thing is, I just had 3 ships which had their turrets knocked out, so maybe on the next battle I should look into, depending on the scenario of course, making sure that my turrets have a lot more armor. With this, we've reached the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Soon I'll be streaming this on a Wednesday and, well, at random other times as well, whenever I feel like streaming. So join me then on twitch.tv/stealth17gaming. See you guys there.